Well, good morning. I'm not sure what's going on this morning, but we are struggling to get this thing going. Every time I opened it up this morning, it said I was losing my connection to Facebook. So I apologize for being a little bit late to the show, a little bit late to the party this morning. That's my bad. So, but we're here now, and it's all good. So, welcome to Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday. Welcome to September the 27th. Welcome to a wonderful Tuesday. Welcome to September 27th. I hope we get a crowd in here today. We've been a little light here the last few days. I'm not sure what's going on, or you guys are losing interest, or what's happening here. But we're gonna try to get this thing rocking and rolling this morning. Good morning, Lynn. Y'all know the drill. If you're here with us this morning, you're up early at 6:30 a.m. Eastern time. Let us know that you're here. Good morning, Alex. Hope everybody's looking forward to a fantastic day. I know that this camera angle, I'm not sure I like this one very much. So this morning, it looks like the hurricane's barreling down on Tampa, heading to Florida. So if you have any friends or family, say a prayer for those folks in Florida. We obviously have a lot of people in Florida and in the middle of the state and family and whatnot. So we're trying to get Mama to come back to Georgia, and she won't do it. So I reckon she's going to just ride it out. Good morning, Teal. How are you? Glad you are here. Good morning, Vanessa. Good morning. How's everybody? Everybody's doing great. Looking forward to a good time. Let's see here. Let me get this figured out. I'm going to try to zoom in just a little bit, change this angle. I thought I had all this figured. My plan this morning was to have everything figured out, everything be wonderful, and not have any technical issues. But of course, what up, Doug Davis? How are you, sir? But of course, as the day would have it, it's not the way the day is going to go. So we're going to make the best of this morning. Is what we're going to do. We are not, because it's great. It's a great segue to the title, Regret and Resolve. It's a great, segue into what we're going to talk about today and what's in your tank. What's in your tank. We're going to go ahead and get going. We don't have that many people. We have 5 or 6 of you here. So we're going to go ahead and get rolling on this thing, because I think it's important that we get going and that today is, I'm really stressing on you guys to jump in there and make the most of every moment, to jump in there and fight that feeling of average, to jump in there and fight this feeling of mediocrity, jump in there and battle through this feeling of average. And really, since, probably June or July, really trying to get you guys to think about not being on autopilot, not being, inattentive to yourself, and really been trying to help you guys focus on finding your purpose, finding your vision, finding what it is that you guys, who you are, right, and what you're supposed to be doing. So this morning, regret or resolve, and there's so many things that are bouncing around in my head right now, and one of the things that then, and just an example, I'm not sure if y'all watched Monday Night Football last night. And you watch the Cowboys and Cowboys and the Giants. But there was a guy who played quarterback last night for the Dallas Cowboys. His name is Cooper Rush. And you're saying, who? And that's exactly what I said. Who? Cooper Rush is I got to fix this camera angle. Y'all give me just one. Sorry. Cooper Rush, I'm going to keep talking. Cooper Rush is he is a journeyman quarterback in Man, as soon as we get the house figured out, as soon as we get the downstairs figured out, I'm gonna have a place to do these calls, not to mess with stuff. And that didn't help at all. So, oh well. Oh, sorry. Get rid of these chairs are too tall. Here we go. That's better. Cooper Rush is a journeyman quarterback. He is a lifetime NFL second string, sits on the bench kind of quarterback. Now they say the best job in the world is to be a second string NFL quarterback because you make millions of dollars and sit on the sidelines and don't have to get hit. So they say that's a pretty decent job. That's too big. Oh, I'm so sorry. But Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush, I feel like Christy right now. Cooper Rush was thrown into action with the Dallas Cowboys because of their starting quarterback Dak Prescott hurt his thumb. So Cooper Rush, this lifetime NFL second stringer, comes in and plays a heck of a ball game last night. And this is not at all what I was thinking last night as I was watching him play. But it did kind of hit me this morning when I found out the title or came up with what I wanted to talk about this morning in regret or resolve, because one of the things that I was listening to this morning during my run was don't quit. Don't ever quit. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop. If you look in my bathroom upstairs, I've got a little sign that says don't ever, 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 ever quit. Resolve. Do you have resolve or regret? Cooper Rush, this second string, lifetime second string quarterback, never got on the field, has quickly become a darling in Dallas. He's quickly become this quarterback that I'm not going to say there's a quarterback controversy, but there are questions that are being asked now. Who's going to be the quarterback when Dak Prescott comes back? Because Cooper Rush is playing so well. Regret or resolve? Cooper Rush, I am certain of this fact. When Cooper Rush was in college, he was probably a fantastic quarterback. And when Cooper Rush was in college, he probably fancied himself an NFL quarterback. And when Cooper Rush went to the NFL and went to his first training camp, I'm certain he fancied himself a starting quarterback. And then he wasn't. And then he got cut. And then he didn't make another team. And then he got traded. Regret or resolve? So was Cooper Rush, were his disappointments bigger than his desire to succeed? Were his disappointments bigger? Were his disappointments stronger than his desire to achieve his goal and play in the NFL? Well, would he allow being cut? Would he allow not making a team? Would he allow being traded and all the disappointment and all the heartache and all the turmoil that comes with that? Would he allow that to take him away from his dreams? Because I would venture a guess, Cooper Rush, I don't know anything about him. I just think his first name's cool because it's the name of our dog. But I'd venture a guess that Cooper Rush had moments like you've had where he sits in the dark in the middle of the night and wonders, what the hell am I doing? Why am I putting myself through this? I thought I had all this figured out. I thought all this was going the way it was supposed to go. And now it's not. And then you start asking yourself the worst question you can ask yourself, why? Why is this happening to me? Why am I going through this? Why? Have you ever gotten that cycle of why? And not start with why, but this cycle of why is this happening to me? This cycle of why does this always happen to me? This cycle of why am I in this position? Why does nobody like me? Why can't I get a deal? Why will nobody answer the phone? Why am I in real estate? Why? You ever found yourself in that position? In that hole, in that circle of death where you're just asking yourself why? You ever had that conversation with a 2-year-old? When they finally figured out the word why is the sky blue? Why are the clouds white? Why do they float? Why do birds fly? Why can't turtles fly? Why do dogs bark, Dad? Why do cats meow? You ever gotten in those conversations with a toddler? It's never ending. Those are the same kind of conversations that you can have with yourself when you're dealing with this, when you're right between regret and resolve. When you're right in that moment between regret and resolve, you're in that dark place where you're trying to figure out, do I go forward or do I quit? When you're in that dark place between regret and resolve and you're trying to figure out, do I move forward or do I stop? I think there's something special about people who, like Cooper Rush, who have this gear, who have this thing where they never ever give up, where they never ever quit. Think about how hard it is to be an NFL football player, to be one of the best of the best of the best. Of all the kids that play Pop Warner, of all the kids that play high school, of all the kids that play college, of all the kids that get drafted, of all the kids who make it to the NFL, and all the kids who actually stick and stay. Think about how it's a reverse funnel, right? And we've had this conversation with Jagger with a lot of the stuff they do in developmental hockey when they start. As soon as they start playing travel hockey, they tell you all the woe is me. You know, this funnel is really, really big. When you turn it upside down, the funnel is really, really big up here. And you get a lot of kids that play, and then a lot of kids that don't play, and then less kids that play, and then the elite kids that play, and then finally one or two who get spit out of the bottom of the funnel who actually make it. It takes a lot of resolve, a lot of stick-to-itness, a lot of never, ever, ever giving up. So what's in your tank? Regret or resolve? I was on Coach Burt's call yesterday at 12:30. His monster producer call, and there's 85 or 90 people on this call from all over the world that Coach Burt is coaching, and Coach Burt is trying to pour into, much like we do every single morning. And Coach Burt's talking about intentional congruence. He's talking about all the things that we do as a part of our gifts and a part of our daily life and a part of our job or a part of our dream or part of what we're doing. Good morning, Melanie. And talking about our intentional congruence and how everything kind of lines up together. And then in this intentional congruence, it is a fabulous concept that everything that we do should be working together, going the same direction. And that there are avenues and opportunities and things that we can do along this path that allow us to make money, that allow us to get better, that allow us to get stronger, that allow us to create opportunity, that allow us to do things that we weren't doing before when we start thinking about this intentional congruence. We start thinking about this relationship, this symbiotic relationship between, let's just use us as an example, real estate and insurance, or real estate and mortgages, or real estate and whatever it is. That there's this symbiote, there's this relationship between real estate and lots of other industries, that if you can figure out a way to have this intentional congruence, that one thing can build the other, and then that thing can build the other thing. I mean, think about this. Well, I don't think about that. But because the point of me saying that is, I look at these 95 faces, these 85, 90 faces on this call, and I scroll through and I see all these faces, and I'm watching the comments, and I'm watching and listening to Coach Burt pour his heart out, watching and listening to Coach Burt, give 20 or 30 years of experience in coaching to these 85 or 90 people. And then I start to think about, of those 85 or 90 people, who's actually doing the thing? Who's actually going to take Coach Burt's words and go do that thing? Who's actually going to write down those notes, write down those words, and then make a plan and have the resolve to go do it? Because it's not going to be easy. It doesn't just happen. Part of the conversation that we had with the guy the other day was, great things don't happen without there being some discomfort. Great leaders aren't born without there being some kind of discomfort. Great movements aren't started without there being some kind of discomfort, some kind of resistance. Great ideas aren't formulated. Great inventions aren't created without some level of discomfort, without some level of pushback, without some level of failure, without multiple levels of failure, those great things don't happen. Cooper Rush isn't a story on Tuesday, September the 27th, 2022, if he quits 2 years ago and decides I'm not an NFL quarterback. If he goes and works at Ace Hardware in his local store, if he goes and gets a real estate license, if he goes and decides to do something else other than playing football. He's not a story on Tuesday morning, September the 27th, 2022. What got me on this? Because one of the I don't have very many regrets in my life. I think one of my biggest regrets is I never did finish. I never did push myself hard enough to go be a Navy SEAL. I really wanted to do it. I thought I was physically capable of doing it. Probably was physically capable of doing it, but I just didn't have the resolve. I remember having the conversation. I remember exactly where I was when the guy asked me, "Do you think you could be a Navy SEAL?" And I looked at him and I said, "Yep, I absolutely could." I was on Interstate 40, driving 40 West, coming back from Crossville for a training exercise. We've been up there. I was a police officer. We were coming back from a training. We've been shooting and running and doing like all that kind of stuff for the last 2 or 3 days. And I was feeling pretty good about myself. I was a big, strong 23-year-old and thought a lot of myself and was my ego was pretty large. And he asked me, he said, "Do you think you could be a Navy SEAL?" And I said, "Absolutely. Without a doubt. No question at all." And that put me on the path to want to try to figure it out, but then I quit. So that's probably one of my biggest regrets. There's some other things that I regret, and there's some things that we've all have them. You guys have regrets. We all have regrets. Man, how many times but we all do. And that's right. We all have regrets. We all have things that we wish we would have done. We all have conversations we wish we would have had. We all have phone calls we wish we would have made. We all have those things. Y'all, regret is heavy. Regret is heavy. Regret is that chain, that big, thick logging chain you wear around your neck. Regret is putting a refrigerator on your back and trying to walk through every single day, going through your day with a refrigerator on your back. Y'all, regret will drive you in the dirt. It will put you in your grave. And the only way to fight regret, the only way to fight this thing is to let it be what it is. I don't even know what time it is. It is. What time is it? I don't have my phone's up. It's 7:04. Guess what you have no control over? 7:03, 7 o'clock, 6:30, September the 26th, 4 months ago, 2 years ago, when you were 30, when you were 22, when you made that decision, when you did that thing back then. Guess what? There's nothing you can do about it now. So why not just put it down? Why not just put it down and rock on? Why not just put it down and resolve today, right now, that you're going to live in this moment the best version of you? Why not resolve right now that in this moment at 7:04 on September the 27th, 2022, resolve right now that at 7:04 I'm going to live this next 60 seconds, this second, the best I can. I'm going to be fully invested in this call. I'm going to be fully invested in this moment, or don't be. If you're not fully invested in this moment because there's something else that's pulling your attention away, then go do that. If that's not what you want to be fully invested in, then go do something else. Because here's the beautiful thing. We all have the ability to choose exactly what we want to. God gave us the free will. He gave us the ability to choose. We as human beings have the ability to reason. We have the ability to look at situations and decide what situation serves us best in this moment. And if it's not this call and it's something else that you want to go do, then I would say go do that. Doug, I appreciate that, buddy. There will be there might be one day. Yeah, I appreciate that. Regret or resolve? I want to be a man of resolve. I want to be a man who doesn't quit. I want to be a human that looks at every single moment, decides what exactly it is that we need to be doing or I need to be doing, and go do that thing. I want to be the guy that makes the plan and sticks to the plan. I want to be the guy that sees a goal and goes after that goal and doesn't let anything else take me from that. That's who I want to be. Am I always that guy? No, I'm not. Do I always stick to my plan? No, I don't. Hell, there's sometimes I don't even make a plan. There's sometimes I just get in the car and start driving. I've heard Christy talk about that. There's sometimes I get in the car and just start driving. I'm like, where are we going? And then she's on her phone, or she didn't hear me ask the question and she's doing something else, or she's fully invested in that moment. And so I asked her, I said, where are we going? I don't get an answer. So I just start driving. I don't even know where we're going. I start driving. And then she looks up, she goes, you're going the wrong way. And I was like, oh, okay. I turn around and go the other way. But sometimes action in any direction creates action in the other direction. Because even if the action that you're taking is wrong, at least you give that attention to decide, to understand, and to decide that you need to go the other way. What I have found in my life, that taking action beats regret. That taking action every single day on something drops a seed of resolve. It creates this momentum of resolve. Taking action helps me to create more resolve. Getting up, I went up and ran this morning. Y'all, up at 5 o'clock in the morning, push-ups before I went out the door. Went out and ran. I'm not stopping on my run anymore. I'm not having to run and walk. I just run. Just run. And y'all, at 5 o'clock in the morning, as a city boy, there's always I used to complain all the time because there's no street lights in Georgia. Outside of Atlanta and Athens, I don't think the state of Georgia puts street lights anywhere. These are the darkest roads I've ever been on in my entire life. But this morning, when I walked outside and everything's pitch black because there aren't any street lights, guess what you can see when there aren't any street lights? Guess what becomes brighter when there aren't any street lights? The stars. When there aren't any street lights, when there aren't lights from buildings, when there aren't artificial lights, and it's completely pitch black, the stars are so bright in the sky. And this morning when I walked outside to go run at 5, and it was pitch black, man, the stars were just like, and I looked up as I'm walking, as I'm starting because I've always walked before I start running. I kind of get my legs loose. As I'm walking to start my run, I'm looking up in the sky. I'm just like, man, thank you. How beautiful are these stars? If I'd have stayed in bed, if I'd have hit my snooze, because I didn't want to get up this morning. This morning was hard. I didn't want to get up. Didn't sleep great last night. Apparently, I snored all night long. Christy didn't sleep well. So apparently, it was a rough night. I didn't want to get up this morning, but I did. And every morning I get up at 3:45. Every morning I get up at 4:45 Eastern. Every morning I go run. Every morning I go read. Every morning I journal. Every morning I meditate. Every morning I do those things. Every morning we do these calls. It creates resolve. It creates momentum in a positive direction. What did Coach Burt say? That little video at Brasstown Valley. I'm trying to do something in you so that when nobody else is around, you can look at yourself in the mirror. You can talk to yourself and say, we're going to go do this damn thing today. I've got this to do today, and I'm going to go do it. And I'm not letting anything else get in the way of that. Regret or resolve? What's in your tank? What are you building your life around? Regret or resolve? Are you more concerned with the things that you didn't do, or the things you couldn't do, or the things you, or the relationships you don't have? Are you more concerned with those than on the relationships you do have, on the relationships you could have, on the things that you could do, on the things that you could create? Where are you more focused? I don't want you to leave a legacy of regret. I don't want you to look back in 3 days, 2 weeks, 4 years, 5 years. Look back in your time with us. I don't want you to look back on this time that you were at Exit Realty Lake Country, the time that your life intersected with mine and Christy's life, and that we were that I don't want you to look back at this and not appreciate and look back at this as regret, and look back at this as time that was wasted, or look back at this as it wasn't valuable. I never ever want you to feel that. So Carrie Leland, I love you, but you can kiss my butt. Carrie Leland just said good morning. Look at this, y'all. So if ever I was going to say it's okay to be jealous right in a moment, this will be a moment. If any of you want to be jealous, I'm going to give you a moment to be jealous and be envious just for a moment, not long, just a little bit, of Carrie Leland as she's watching the call on a treadmill off the coast of Bahamas on a cruise ship. Atta girl, Teal, look. I'm proud of you for being on the treadmill. That's what I'm proud of you for doing. You suck for being in the Bahamas, though. Regret or resolve? Look at that. FYI, residuals paid for this trip. Thank you, Steve Morris, for paying. Thank you, Steve Morris. I love it. Great, 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 great thing. Regret or resolve? What's in your tank? What's going to fuel you today? What do you need to do? Do you need to make a plan? Raise your hand if you have a plan. Do you have a direction? Or are you like me and you just turn right, pull out of the driveway, turn right, and not knowing where to go, and then hoping somebody's going to be there to tell you, hey, you're going the wrong way? What are you doing? How are you doing this? Do you need a plan? Do you need some direction? Teal, Vanessa, Melanie, you guys are relatively new in this business, but Alex and Lynn, Doug, Carrie, we all need a plan. We all need a direction. We all need a direction. Because I promise you, a ship with no rudder may eventually get to port. It may eventually get to where it's going, but it's going to waste so much energy, create so much turmoil, leave so much damage in its wake before it gets there. That it's not worth it. Regret or resolve? What direction are you going? What do you have in your tank right now? I'm going to encourage you guys, come to the meeting tomorrow. Wednesday Madison meeting at 10:30. We'll be there. We've got Christy and I have so many things that we're hoping to do. So many things that we're rocking right now, trying to bring to you guys, because what Christy and I don't want to do is we don't want to have regrets. We don't want to look back and think, man, I wish we'd have done this, or man, I wish we'd have done that. Christy and I, a lot of times we go do things before we have it all fully figured out. And then we kind of figure it out as we go. If y'all haven't figured that out yet, there are a lot of times we go rock on. we write things down and we'll get stuff kind of rolling and we'll have these ideas, this inspiration, and we go because we understand that we can figure it out on the way. But we have resolve, and I don't give up. She doesn't give up. We're not ever going to quit trying to help you guys be the best version of you. We're not ever going to quit trying to help other people be the best versions of themselves. We're not ever going to quit trying to make this company the absolute light on top of this hill that people are drawn to. We are not going to quit trying to make a difference in this real estate industry. Regret or resolve? Is your quit bigger than your confidence? Is your quit bigger than your confidence? What do you need? And I'd love to see this other than Carrie, because that's just going to make me mad. But I would love to see, there's however many of you are on this call right now live. I would love to see a comment. You write a comment and tell me one thing that you're going to do today that's hard, that's difficult. One thing that you're going to do today that it makes your stomach hurt. It gives you butterflies. It makes you uncomfortable. One thing you're going to do today that you know you've got to get done, that you know you've had to that you've had to get done, but you've been putting it off because you didn't want to face the consequences of doing it. You didn't want to hear whatever from doing it. Put one thing in the comments. I want you to write one thing in there before we go. I want you to write one thing in there that you've got to do today. It's going to cause you. It's difficult. There should be y'all comment in there. One thing today that you're going to do that's difficult, but you're going to do it. You're going to resolve right now in front of me and in front of everybody in this call, and you're going to write this thing down here that you're going to do it today. It could be call somebody. It could be I don't know what it is. Whatever it is that you've been putting off because you have some level of pain, some level of discomfort thinking about doing it. What are you going to do today? Come on, y'all write them in there. Comments. What do you have to do today that you've been putting off? Is it a conversation? With a difficult conversation with someone that you've been putting off? Have you been putting off making cold calls to potential clients? Have you been putting off putting names in your CRM? Thank you, Carrie. Carrie says she's going to call a seller to discuss lowering the price, even though she knows they don't want to. Teal says, start my plan for calls and marketing. Calls are my worst. Okay. Making the calls for Brooke. Melanie, she's been putting off working in Boomtown. Lynn says, give a new photographer an opportunity to shoot a listing. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Teal, Brooke, Melanie. I don't want you to look at here's what I want you to do. Baby steps. Okay? Baby steps. What you're doing right now and what you're trying to do right now is taking you from a zero position to a position where it's just part of your daily walk. It's part of your daily life. Part of your daily business. But I want you to start small, okay? I want you to start, don't get overwhelmed, because what happens is when we get overwhelmed with something, we'll push away. And when you're trying to work through resolve, you got to walk before you can run. When you're trying to work through don't quitting, you just got to start, okay? So here's what I want you guys to do. Just do 3 or 4 or 5 tops. 5 tops. Set a time aside, make 5 phone calls. Brooke, talk to 5 people. Teal, talk to 5 people. Melanie, Get 5 names put in your Boomtown today. Okay? Get those things done. Carrie, make the phone call. Just go do the thing. Just go do the thing. Start at 0. Because, guys, I'm telling you right now, in this business, this real estate business, this thing that we do, sales in general, we make it so much harder than it needs to be. We make it so much harder than it needs to be because we don't maybe have the confidence. And Teal and Brooke and Melanie, I don't know. Now, Melanie, I don't know if you have any problems making phone calls or not. But Teal and Brooke, if you guys are struggling on the phone and you're struggling on the phone because it's just a confidence issue and your confidence is because you don't know what words to say or how to say it, then we can work on that. So until we work on giving you some real estate words to use, just go be you. Just go be you. Just check on people. Haven't talked to you in a while. Okay? But do it. 2 or 3, 4, 5 times tops. Get them in there. Okay? Start the process. Build a little bit of breath. You got to walk before you can run. Resolve is a wonderful thing. We always said when I was a police officer, when we start chasing people, the only people that we ever caught were the people that quit running. You realize that? If a bad guy doesn't want to get caught and he doesn't quit running, he's not going to get caught. You ever fought anybody? You ever been up against somebody who just won't quit? Who imagine being a boxer and you're fighting this guy for 11 rounds, right? You're just bam, 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 bam. You knock him down. And every time you knock him down, he gets up and keeps fighting. And every time you punch him and knock him down, and you think you got him down, he gets up and keeps fighting. You ever been up against somebody who will not quit, who will not stop, who has more resolve than you, who is dedicated to their fight? Can't beat those people. You can't overtake those people unless your resolve is bigger than their resolve. What's in your tank? Regret or resolve? Are you willing to put down 703? Are you willing to put down the 26th? Are you willing to put down the conversation that you had 6 months ago? Are you willing to put down the time that you were told no? Guess what? You can't do anything about that anymore. Those pages are turned. That train has left. That channel has changed. All you have is from right now forward. Regret or resolve? Can you shrink your quit and grow your confidence? Can you shrink your quit and grow your courage? You absolutely can. And Teal and Brooke and Melanie and Carrie and Lynn and Aaron and Christy and whoever else is going to watch this video later today, Doug, Carrie, you can grow your courage bigger than your quit. And when you get your courage bigger than your quit, when your courage grows stronger than your quit, nobody can stop you. Nobody can beat you. And the only person who can beat you, the only person who can stop you is you. And you decide when you want to take a break. And you decide when enough is enough. And you decide when I've done all I can do. And you get to decide what it looks like. Because at the end of the day, That's what freedom is. That's what life's about. That's what this whole thing's about. Is I get to pour into other people. I get to help them be better. And I get to choose when, where, what, with whom I get to do stuff with. Regret or resolve. Quit or courage. Cowardice or heart. My prayer for you today is that you start building your courage. My prayer for you today is you start building your resolve. My prayer for you today is you start walking in the strength and the confidence and the image of God, which is how you were created. That's my desire for you today and tomorrow and the next day. Don't let him give you grief, Gary, because if there's a place, I can assure you, a cruise ship is one of my favorite places to work, because there is hardly anything better than sitting in a stateroom with the door open, listening to the waves and the water rush by, and being able to do a little bit of work. That is one of the most invigorating things ever. I love doing that. Don't let them give you grief. All right. Today's the day. Today's the day you start growing your courage. Today's the day you start building your resolve. Today's the day that you make your courage bigger than your quit. Stop being average. Stop being mediocre. Let the mediocre people say what they're going to say. Let the average people say what they're going to say. Let them go play in mediocre town. Let them go play in average town. You create your momentum. You create your strength. You create the life that you want to create. People are going to say what they're going to say. The only thing that matters is what you say about yourself. Don't carry the weight of regret one more second of your life. Not one more second. I love y'all. Y'all say a prayer for the people in Florida. That hurricane apparently is going to be a Category 4 headed toward Tampa. If it hits the mouth of Tampa, we had dinner with some friends yesterday that are from Tampa, and of course Christy is from Lakeland, and we have tons of family in Lakeland, Central Florida. Mama's down there, Papa's down there, Meemaw's down there. We have tons of folks in Florida. Y'all say a prayer for them. Let's keep our exit associates, our exit brothers and sisters who are in Florida in our prayers. Hopefully it's not going to be a bad one. Hopefully it'll just be a lot of rain and a little bit of wind, but let's keep all the Florida folks in our thoughts and our prayers. Let's lift each other up. Let's strengthen each other today. Strengthen everybody around you today. Mentors, mentees, we have a call at 11, I think, today. Shout out to Michelle Tilson yesterday for setting up headshots. I don't know how many people attended. Apparently not many. But shout out to Michelle Tilson in Madison who set up headshots in Madison yesterday. We're gonna do that again. I kind of felt bad this morning that Aaron and Christy didn't do more to promote that, and that more of you guys didn't know about the headshot thing. I think I've got an idea that I want to do for headshots, for company shots, and things like that. I believe we need a company photo with all of us as we roll out some new branding through Exit Southeast. So there's some things that I want to do with that. But thanks, Michelle, for being awesome. Kristen Seabolt, thanks for being there. Alex, I don't know if you went or not, but awesome job yesterday, Michelle T, setting that up. Tomorrow, Madison meeting. I don't know what we're doing tomorrow as far as we had talked. Christy and I had talked about some things, either training in the afternoon, but I haven't really gotten a final say on that. So see everybody tomorrow in Madison, 10:30ish. Bring an open heart, bring an open mind. We have some new agents that are coming, some potential new agents coming tomorrow at the meeting. So that'll be super, super cool. We want to make sure that we welcome them in and show them some exit love. But be good, be great, be you, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye, y'all.